always a pleasure to see Bernie. I told him this is Popular Yankee Day. Swisher, of course, Mattingly, and of course you, three of the more popular, especially you and Mattingly, two of the more popular Yankees ever. And how things going? I know you're just getting over the flu, as so many people are right now.
Yeah, but, it's weather, getting, sort of unburied of all the snow that fell.
It's been
in the last couple of days.
We're used to here. You're used to being on the island in the wintertime, right?
Yeah, well, this is my home now, so I got to deal with it as much as anybody else.
You don't like the snow, though, right?
Not too much.
I don't like it
First
either.
couple of days is good, but then it just gets tired, though.
I agree. And we'll get to your charity event. How's the music business going?
It's going great. Last year was a very, very productive year. I think, I'm sort of kind of easing up into this music industry,
yes.
Taking my time, now I'm in a position that I can call my shots and do, whatever I want, as far as the concerts that I want to attend. But I'm liking it, Every year that passes, I feel more drawn to, playing on stage, and I love the interaction with the fans and with this, with the audience, and it's great.
So you finally feel like you have a new career, right? You have moved into the music business.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I could even call it a career. I mean,
I think it's a carer. I mean, you've already won Grammys. I think it's a career.
Grammy nominations, so I'm still yet, to win a Grammy. But I think, it's something that I love to do, something that I work really hard at, as I did in baseball, and it's definitely paying off.
All right. Let's get to one bit of business. You have not retired yet. Are you going to wait till you're 60 to retire? You have not retired yet. Can we have that day? I keep saying, when are you going to have Bernie's Day? They said, would you tell him to retire? Then we can have a day here. We can retire his uniform.
I'm going to make it redundantly official this year.
Is it going to be this year? We can finally have the day?
It's got to happen. Yeah, I think so.
Let me know so I can put it on the calendar here, okay?
I see Steve over there saying, yes.
Steve is dying to retire that uniform. He is dying, you know that? Give him some presents, another big day at the stadium. I think we've reached the point where I even have to admit I'm not going to get to watch you hit anymore. I think we're done.
Yeah, only in spring training, as a guest.
Are you going
instructor.
down again? Are you going down again?
Yeah, I will definitely welcome the opportunity. I think we're going to be down there for some other things that I have to do down in Orlando. And then
don't go in a box and hit right-handed, because I'm telling you, you're going to be able to do that when you're 80. Okay, so I know you go in there and hit a couple of ropes, and you say, wait a second here, I can still do this.
I'll have the feeling back in, and they'll be like, oh, boy.
You're going to be able to hit right-handed your whole life. When you're 80, you'll hit line drives right-handed. There's no way around it, okay?
I believe so, yeah.
So don't get taken away by that,
I don't know, man. You never know.
Bernie can't. It's amazing. You know that? It's amazing. You have yet to we're going on 3 or 4 years now. You have yet to retire.
I know. It's it's just a combination of factors. I think the opportunity that I have to play for this team, and then just to live in this city, and to be embraced by the whole community and all the New York fans, it has been just amazing. So who wouldn't want to retire?
Hey, you'd never want to retire. I mean, you were the center fielder for the Yankees for 15 years. Who would ever want to give that up? It's the best job in the world.
I held the best job in the business.
That is the best job. I mean, listen, that's one of the great jobs in sports. Center field, New York Yankees. That's big. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was a great ride. I was part of some great teams, and I had a great time.
You did. You know that? You had a great. You can. Are you far enough away yet? And you're a very modest man. But are you far enough away yet that you can look back and say, "Boy, I had a terrific career here"?
Well, I don't know if I could do that yet, but I could certainly think that I was, I had just a tremendous time with some great teams, and I was just part of some great times in the history of the team, and arguably the history of baseball. That '98 team, is arguably one of the best teams ever.
It was.
And I'm very proud to say that I was part of that.
Oh, big part.
Definitely.
I mean, but you think about it. I mean, you held, when you retired, you had the most home runs ever in the postseason. Now Manny's passed you. But, I mean, you've had so many big moments. You won a batting crown. You had you look on the Yankee all-time list, you're there in the top 5 in so many categories. I mean, you had a great run, an incredible run.
It was a great run. I think, obviously, the opportunity that Mr. Steinbrenner gave me, and obviously a lot of the people that convinced him that I was good enough to be in the team for all those years, I think it was probably
it came a little
one of the
close.
key parts.
I didn't want to go to Fenway to watch you play there for a while,
I know, and I was the other day I was at the Jackie Robinson Foundation.
Right.
He was celebrating his birthday. and I ran into Mr. Jerry Reinsdorf, and he told me that there was a time that I was almost going to be a White Sox. I was in the trading blocks.
Really?
And he said I was this close to be a Yankee.
You know, I remember
to be a White Sox.
I know you were almost traded once for the guy who was great in the National League at the time, Larry Walker.
Larry Walker.
That's the guy you were almost traded for. It was a head-up trade. You for Larry Walker was being talked about. I know that one.
Wow.
I don't remember the White Sox one. I don't know who you were being traded for. But Larry Walker was one that I remember
hearing. It was like a 4-player trade.
Really?
And I think Mr. Steinmeier pulled the plug at the last minute, saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Yes,
you don't want to
absolutely.
Go to the White Sox. No. You played your whole career in one uniform.
It would have been a totally different career, I'll tell you what.
It would have. But you know what? It would have been a good one anyway. And now 51 is about to finally go up. You want 51 to go up there. Let your kids see 51 on the wall there. That's going to be nice, you know that?
Yeah, my kids, you know, every Puerto Rican that goes to Yankee Stadium, and it's going to be, there's one of us out there.
Absolutely.
So
you know that? We're talking with Bernie Williams, and you're going to go see Mattingly's been on today. You're going over to Mattingly's event tonight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time he has an event, I think this is actually his first charity event that he's actually hosting. So, I mean, anything that he is a part of, you know, definitely want to be associated with him.
That's a guy who really had a big impact on you. You talk about a guy who had a big impact when you first came up. Mattingly was the guy who really, if there's a guy who took you under his wing, it was Mattingly, right?
I think so. I mean, I certainly know so. He was one of the guys that, I mean, actually the only guy at that time that sort of, you know...
It wasn't a good group. It wasn't a good group, but he was the guy. It was
a very interesting group, to say the least.
No, it was a bad group. It was a bad... There were some bad guys on that team.
He did not jump on the bandwagon and just started giving me, you know, some of that tough love. You know, he just took me aside and he said, you know, you got some potential. I think you got the potential to be a...
Well, there was some jerks on that. Let's be honest.
Yourself.
I'll say it. You don't have to say it. There was some jerks on that team.
No, man, I'm not going to say that.
No,
but, you know,
was a jerk.
I think they're probably a product of what they had to live with, you know, when they were young. So I think they were just passing it on. But I think, you know, the way that Don sort of treated me as not only as a player but as a human being, as a young player coming in, you know, all scared and, you know, thinking that maybe I'm not be able,
big glasses,
may not be able to stay. You know, they're going to trade me, they're going to send me down. He said, okay, you have the potential to be a good player here. This is what you need to do. You need to, you know, get your rest. You know, eat right. You know, work hard. And you know, he just went down the list. And he said, you know, don't take success, you know, for granted. Just you got to keep working hard at it. And, you know, just hearing that from him, you know, was like, yeah, maybe, you know, there's somebody actually that actually believes that I can stay here. And that certainly gave me a lot of motivation.